Hi everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with my August book haul. I bought so many books this month. I don't even know how many, but it's definitely like, I don't know, 70 or something. So I've decided to chop this book haul once again into different parts. So today we're going to take the first, I think it's 19 books I have here, and then I might do like 1 or 2 additional book hauls when all of those books have arrived, because now I'm hauling the ones that are here. So it's a shitload of books. I went crazy bananas and bought like everything I was interested in basically, and there's a shitload of middle grade in this particular book haul right here. Later on, when the other books arrive, will be a lot of classics and even more middle grade, and it's a lot. But yeah, let's get started with what books I do have. The first one is Sky Pirates, Echo Quickthorn and the Great Beyond by Alex English. This is illustrated by Mark Chambers. I actually have a signed edition because I ordered the Tales by Mail package with middle grade books. I tried it out once and this was one of the books that was in there. This is about the orphan Echo Quickthorn, and he's always been told that nothing exists outside the kingdom of Lockfort. Trapped behind the castle wall, she dreams of adventure, but how can she escape if there's nowhere to go? When an eccentric professor crashes his airship outside her bedroom window, armed with a map and claiming to be a real-life explorer, Echo knows this is the adventure she's been waiting for. And then she finds some clues that might tell her the whereabouts of her missing mother. And yeah, it sounds really good. It has some illustrations, like I said, which are really pretty. So I'm definitely in the hype for middle grade right now, so I really want to read a lot of them. And then we have The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Metalstone by Jacqueline Moriarty. This is quite chunky for being a middle grade. It's like 450 something pages. And also this cover is freaking gorgeous. But this one we meet Bronte Middlestone, and she get a telegram that tells her that her parents have been killed by pirates. Doesn't really affect her that much because she doesn't really know her parents, because she doesn't live with them, because she's been brought up by her aunt Isabel and the butler. But in this telegram there's very specific details about what she needs to do to be able to stop some terrible things from happening. So Bronte has to go around the kingdom and visit her 10 other aunts, and she has to give them different types of gifts really, and they're really different, all of these aunts. Like one is a captain of a cruise ship, one is specialized in dragon care, and then the third is a queen of a small kingdom. So she goes on this adventure trying to find them all, and it sounds really cute. I've heard great things about it. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And now we have Potkin and Stubbs by Sophie Green, illustrated by Katie Montford. And this is supposed to be some kind of we meet Lil Potkin, and she is a wannabe reporter. She is not really easily scared or anything, and she spends her time stalking the streets trying to find, you know, a story. And she also sticks her nose where she doesn't belong just because she's desperate for a news scoop. And Lil is about to discover a scoop can be found anywhere at all, and even sitting opposite her in an all-night bus station. So I really look forward to reading this one. This also has illustrations which are really pretty, and I just love this cover because gold foil is a thing of middle grade books these days, and I'm all here for it. I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I feel like it would be a really quick read. And then we have Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell, also a beautiful cover. This was the second book I got in the Tales by Mail book box, so it's also signed. And this one we follow Arthur, Ren and Cecily, and they go to investigate this mysterious explosion, and then all of a sudden they find themselves trapped in the year 2473, and they're lost in Wonderscape. And this is an epic in-reality adventure game, and they must call on help of some unlikely historical heroes to be able to return home. And this sounds amazing, and I just want to read it. and also like the cover shows different I guess worlds inside of this game or whatever, and I'm here for it. And then we have Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. And this is supposed to be a middle grade sci-fi book, and I don't think I've ever read a sci-fi book that is a middle grade, so this really intrigues me. It does remind me a little bit of the Illumina Files, just because there's an artificial intelligence that's not completely trustworthy. But other than that, it's we follow 13-year-old Beth and her friends to navigate through treacherous and uncharted territory to reach safety. But a heavily damaged ship, space pirates, and a mysterious alien species. Thus, you know, the point of going home make it really hard to get home, and it's supposed to be really good. I've heard great things, and I really want to try to read a middle grade sci-fi, so this would be awesome. And then we have Wild Spark by Vashti Hardy, and once again with a golden foil. I love it. We meet Prue Haywood, and she's on a mission. She's getting the ghost machines of Medlock to remember the people they used to be, because she needs to find her brother Francis. And if she fails, her brother will stay dead, and if she succeeds, all of society may fall apart. That's all it says, but it sounds really cool, really interesting, and I feel like I'll keep saying this because I really want to read it right away, but that's the thing with all of the books I buy, which is why I buy them in bulk, because I want to read everything. Really need to slow down on the book buying, because when all of the books I've ordered so far have arrived, I will have probably over 300 unread books, and that scares the living shit out of me. And then we have The Wizards of Wands by Cressida Cowell. This one is also illustrated. It's really pretty. I don't really know a lot about this book. I know there's a young boy who's a wizard, and there's a girl who's a warrior, and they're brought up as enemies, and then I guess they have to fight some evil. This is a series that I've heard a lot of things about. It has great ratings, and it's also the author that wrote How to Train Your Dragon, so I'm really interested in that series as well, but I think I'll start with this one. So yeah. And then we have The Explorer by Catherine Rondell. This is a Costa Book Award winner from 2017. I don't know a lot about this book, because the only thing it says on the back is that this plane crashes in the jungle and 4 children are stranded there, and they have to, you know, work out a way to survive on their own, and they find out that maybe they're not the first person that ends up in this jungle. Maybe someone was there before them, and that is all I know, but it sounds really cool, so I just need to read it. And also, like, these chapter headers are beautiful. And then we have The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Noble, and this is just somewhat floppy, and I'm here for it. But we follow a girl named Emmy, and her dad disappeared years ago, and her mother is a little bit too busy to parent, so she shipped off Emmy to Wellsworth, which is a prestigious boarding school in England, and she's really sure that she won't really fit in there. But before she leaves, Emmy finds a box of mysterious medallions in the attic of her home, medallions that belong to her father, and her father, turns out, may have gone to this boarding school, Wellsworth, and she starts to see strange symbols while she's at school, and she's trying to figure out what they mean, and maybe they found a secret society and stuff like that. It sounds very mysterious. I'm all here for it. And then we have Amal Unbound by Aisha Saeed. We meet Amal, and she loves learning, and she dreams of becoming a teacher, but then something unimaginable happens, and that is she has an accidental run-in with the son of the village's corrupt landlord, and she's forced to be his mother's servant in order to pay off her family debt. And the opulent corrupt Khan estate, while there, Amal realizes she still has to find a way to work with others to bring about change and to achieve her dreams. So it sounds really inspiring and interesting, and it's just supposed to be inspired by Malala Yousafzai. Sorry if I butchered that, but you know, Malala hopefully everybody knows who that is, but she has been very active about trying to get girls, you know, the right to go to school and get an education and everything like that, and the Taliban's didn't really like that, so they tried to kill her and she had to escape to England, I think she ended up in. It's a lot story, but I've read her biography, so really interesting to read a book that is inspired by her. And then we have The Hurricane Child by Kacey Callender. This has won a lot of awards. So this is Stonewall Honor Book and also Lambda Literacy Award winner, and it's a beautiful cover. So in this one we meet Carolyn Murphy, and she is a hurricane child. She was born during a hurricane which is unlucky, and 12-year-old Caroline has had and 12-year-old Caroline has had her share of bad luck lately, but then this new student arrives, and Caroline believes that her luck is about to turn around because Kalinda soon becomes Caroline's best friend, and together the two girls must brave their own feelings of friendship and love while they seek to discover why Caroline's mother has disappeared or risk losing her forever. So it sounds really cool. It's a really short book though. It's 211 pages, so I feel like this would be a really quick read. Now I bought pretty much all of the Kacey Callender books at this point, and I have read none of them, but you know, sometime it will happen. But this is King and the Dragonflies by Kacey Callender. The dragonflies live down by the bayou, but there's no way to know which one's my brother. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands. King is sure that his brother Khalid has turned into a dragonfly. After Khalid unexpectedly passed away, he shed his fur skin for another and found refuge in the backwaters of their small Louisiana town. Khalid still visits in a dream. A secret king must keep secret, that and the fact that he might be gay. As King watches grief transform his family, he comes to understand the beauty and the redemption of learning to fly past the secrets that keep him from rising to his truest self. And that's all it says. It sounds really magical and beautiful and heart-wrenching at the same time, and another beautiful cover. So I think that was all of the middle grade, so now we move on to the different part. We have an adult romance novel, and this is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel. Sorry, I'm butchering names every time now. But in this one we meet Naomi and Nicholas, and they are engaged, but they're starting to realize that maybe they want to call the wedding off. So they start to do a lot of practical pranks on each other and try to drive the other one to break off the engagement. The reason why they don't actually call it off is because that the one that ends the engagement will have to pay for the non-refundable wedding bill, which is why they're trying to drive the other one to break the engagement off. And they have nothing to lose, so they give it them all, but maybe they realize they're actually having fun with the person they least expected, which is each other. So it sounds really fun and cool, and I do like reading about practical jokes, even though I don't really read a lot of those kind of books, but really looking forward to this one. Like I said, all of the Kacey Callender books. But this is Felix Ever After by Kacey Callender. This has gotten a lot of hype lately, and I just really want to read it. Felix Love has never been in love, and yes, he's painfully aware of the irony. He desperately wants to know what it's like and why it seems so easy for everyone but him to find someone. What's worse is that even though he's proud of his identity, Felix also secretly fears that he's one marginalization too many, black, queer and transgender, to ever get his own happily ever after. And there's a student that starts sending him anonymous transphobic messages, publicly posting Felix's dead name alongside of images of him before he transitioned, and Felix comes up with a plan for revenge. So he catfished this person, but he doesn't really thought that he would end up in a love triangle scenario. So it sounds really heart-wrenching and horrible, but hopefully it's really good because I've heard amazing things about this book. And then we have Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. In Otters Holt, Kentucky, love has always been defined one way. A girl and a boy find each other, buy a Buick and eventually get married. For Billy McCaffrey, a box-defying dynamo and the daughter of the town's preacher, it's never been that simple. Right about the time she realizes she's in love with her best guy friend Woods and her best girlfriend Janie Lee, Woods and Janie Lee start falling for each other. Always consider one of the guys, Billy doesn't want anyone slapping a label on what this all means before she can figure it out herself. She's not about to upset the group dynamic. Except it's not just about keeping the peace. It's about understanding love on our own terms. I found out about this book from Books and Lala from watching her videos, and it's supposed to be one of her favorite books, so hopefully I really enjoy it. I have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and this is about Jason Dessen. The last word he hears before the kidnapper knocks him unconscious is, "Are you happy with your life?" So Jason wakes up and when he wakes up, his wife is not his wife, his son was never born, and Jason's not an ordinary college professor, but a celebrated genius who has achieved something remarkable, something impossible. But he doesn't know which life, the one before he was knocked unconscious or the one he woke up to, which one is the real life, which one is he supposed to want to get back to or stay in. And it sounds really interesting, and I really look forward to reading this one. I've been wanting to read this book. For such a long time, and I feel like finally it's time to do it. And then we have The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the second book in the Poppy War trilogy series quartet. I have no idea, but it's the second book. I love the covers of this book, and also like that's beautiful. I have like no idea what this is about because I haven't read the first book, and I just saw this was at a discounted price, so I picked it up, and you know, hopefully I will enjoy it because otherwise I'm screwed. Then we have some picture books. So the first one is Malala's Magic Pencil, and this is written by Malala Yousafzai and illustrated by Kara Shoet. Sorry if I butchered all of the names. But this is about a girl that has a magic pen, and what she draws will come, you know, reality. So first she starts to change things around her village and stuff she wants and need, like a ball for his brothers and stuff like that. But then she realizes maybe there's some bigger things going on in the world, bigger problems, and she tries to start to fix those. So it's really inspiring. It was really beautiful, and I really enjoyed reading it because I already have read it. And then we have Counting on Catherine by Helene Becker, illustrated by Do Fumiruk. Sorry if I butchered that. But this is about how Katherine Johnson saved Apollo 13. So basically it's this girl growing up, loving math, and she skips classes and she's really good, and then she starts working for, you know, NASA, and does a lot of math to be able to save the astronauts that are out in space, and you know, stuff like that. And it's just about how she grew up. And in the back you also get some facts about Catherine, who was a real person. So that was really interesting, and it was definitely a very nice, cute read. The last book of this haul is The Youngest Marcher, the story of Audrey Faye Hendricks, a young civil rights activist. This is by Cynthia Levinson, illustrated by Vanessa Brantley Newton. This is about the Birmingham segregation laws, and about, you know, people speaking up against them because, you know, they want to be able to walk wherever they want, they want to be able to go into any store they want and stuff like that. So the grown-ups are too afraid to walk in this march because they're afraid like they'll just lose their jobs, there will be more hardships for them if they do this and everything like that. So there's a lot of kids and teenagers end up walking in this march, and the goal is to fill up all of the prisons so they can't arrest anybody else, and then people can start doing all of the same things that the white people are. And Audrey Faye Hendricks was the youngest marcher during this march. This is a real story. I think she was 9, I think, and she ended up in prison for like a week, I think. So this was really inspiring, really heartfelt. And also in the back you can read more about the real Audrey Faye Hendricks. So yeah, those were all of the 19 books I have to talk about right now. I'm really happy I split all of these book hauls up, because otherwise this video would have been even longer than it already is. But yeah, there's a lot more books coming, and after that I definitely have to go on some sort of book buying ban, because this is crazy. And I need to stop. But yeah, if you've read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling of course. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and you know, subscribe down below. And yeah, I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye.